We are going to use this video to develop two dashboards. This is the first one and here is the second one. I just want to give you some ideas you can implement for your assignment using the data set that has been provided. So right now what we are going to do is that I'm going to launch another Power BI and import the data. So in the first video, I'll import the data, I'll process the data to the first dashboard, then I'll do another video, I'll use it to do the second one to avoid this being too long. Now, I strongly recommend you download the desktop version, but if you want to use the online version, it's up to you. Now, I'll click blank report. And I know my data set is of type is an Excel file, so I'll click import data from Excel. If you are using a CSV file, you'll go to get data and get the CSV import type here. So I'll just click here and go to where my data is. It's located. I dropped it here, so I'll take it from there. Your office home retailer data, open it. And a dialog box will appear, enabling me to choose my data. I know my table name is transactions. I'll click on that and I want to transform the data. So I won't click load. I'll go to transform. Now there's one thing you can see. You can clearly see that I do not have the right header. This should be there, but here we have what we have here. So what we will do is once we get into Power Query, we are going to promote this into a header. So I'll click on Transform Data, and once it loads in Power Query, you can see it's Power Query Editor. Once it loads, we are going to promote this there. So the way to do that, just come and right click. You have two options. You can go to Transform, you can use that, or you can just come here and right click on this icon here and then take use first row as headers. So I'm going to do that. Now in case you make any mistake, just come here, click X to undo what you did. You can see we don't have an undo icon here. You generally use what is under the applied steps. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to make sure we have the right data types. You can see the data types are not really clear. So what we will do is to select all the columns. I'll just use Control A, Command A for Mac to select everything. Then make sure you are under Transform and we will go to Detect Data Type. Once I do that, it's going to automatically update the data types. Now just to draw your attention, if your thing doesn't look like mine, just go to View and check column quality. So if you check column quality and column distribution, then it will look like mine. So I'm going to click on column quality, click on column distribution, then it helps us profile our data, see how our data looks like, see if there are any errors or not. Now there are a couple of things we want to do here. We have most of our data. I'll just click here to uncheck everything. You can see it has chosen the right data type. Generally, it's able to choose the right data type. Just check the last things you'll be using to compute. Make sure it's the right data type. Okay, the next thing I want to do is to insert some dates, because if you look at what I initially showed, for example, here we have months, and even this other chart here, you can see we have this chart, it's going by months from January to June. So we want to insert this, not just the months, but having just this number of letters, the first, second, and third letters. So that's what we want to do. We want to add it here. So I'll go to Other Dates, click on the column, go to Add Column, ribbon. So as I said, select Other Date. Now we can go to Date, look for month. We want name of month, so I'll click on name of month. And I know it has added name of month here. Now before I process that, I'll add one more. I just want the month. So when I go to month, it's going to give me which month in terms of first, second, third, month 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I'll click on date again and I'll click on month. Now you can see the order of the month. For example, we know that 4 is April. Now, as we saw on the chart, I want to keep the first, second, and third letters. So I'll select that, go to transform, and then go to extract, and under first characters, I want the first 3 characters. Okay, and there we go. Now I'll just adjust the names. I'll come here, I'll double click to say we want month number. And here I'll double click. I want that to be just a month. And that is it. Now we can go to home, close and apply, close and apply. And once we do that, we can start playing with our data set. Okay, just to make life easy, maybe I'll just close these other ones so that they don't interfere. I'll close the other Power BI so that it doesn't interfere with what we are presently doing. So here we go. You can always toggle between these things, okay? If I click here, it goes. If I click there, it comes. And here I have my data. So the next thing I want to do is to add some key measures. If you look around, there are certain things we don't have. So I'm going to use DAX to add the profit margin and the contribution margin. Those two things I want to add. So in order for me to do that, I'll just go to enter data. I'll change the name from table to key measures. You can give any name, it doesn't matter. Click on load. And now I have some DAX. I have DAX formula. So I'll click on key measures and I will go to my file where I have my formulas. For example, contribution margin. Now where you see transaction is actually the name of the table. If you come here, you see that the name of this table is transaction. It really doesn't care if it's capital or not. So here I have transaction and I want my profit margin is basically the sum of transaction. Well, on that table transactions, we have profit order divided by sales. So profit of order divided by sales will give me my profit margin, and contribution margin, sales multiplied by the contribution margin ratio will give me my contribution margin. So these are the two DAX formula we will be using, or formulae if you want. Control C, I'll copy that one and then click on key measures because I want to put it into this table. Go to new measures and just paste it in there with Control V. Then I'll click there and we can see it has added it. I'll click again on that, click on new measures, and then take the next one, which is for contribution margin. And I will paste it there, hit enter, and we see it has added it there. I don't want to keep this empty column. I don't need it. So I'm going to right click on it. I'll click on it, right click, and then go to delete from model, delete it from model, and we have that. Now we have prepared our data. We have all what we need to start plotting the charts. So right now I'll start with the first chart. I'll start from the bottom going up. So now we want to investigate the volume of sales as well as profit margin for the different states. So I'll go to home. Home, I can see all the charts I need. I'll just click the drop down and I will take the line and cluster column. I'll click on it, drag it all the way down and extend it completely. reduce the size so that I have size. Now it depends on your computer screen. My computer screen is pretty large, so I can play with it, but if yours is not the case, you should play with it as it works for you. Maybe you should look for a larger screen. It always makes it easy. So as I said, we want to look at the amount of sales and profit margin per state so that you can see the state where you sell the most and the state where you make the most, where your profit margin is highest. So I will click on transaction so that I can see everything. By the way, let me close that. I don't need it. So let me come back there. So I'll look for state. This is state. Drag it and drop it on your x-axis. You want to see all the states, and now you are looking for the amount of sales. I have sales here. I'll drag it and drop it where I have column y-axis, and now I will go to profit margin, drag it and drop it where I have line axis, so that I can see what's going on, the amount of sales and the profit margin from the different states. This is what we can see. Now I can play a bit with the titles. For example, here I don't like how it looks, so I will come here where you have format, click on format, and then go to, I'll start with title. Title is on. I want to reduce from 14 to 12. I want to center it. I want to give it a background. I'll choose this background, and I will change the font color, the text color, to white. And if I want, I can make it bold. Okay, so that's really up to you. So the next thing we want to do, let me click there. I want to adjust the size of this so that we can read a bit more. I'll go to x-axis and I'll reduce the font size so that hopefully we can read it a bit more. Yeah, so that's it. And if you feel you don't have enough, you can just play a bit with the rotation. This at times helps. If you, let's say, increase it slightly, it gives it a bit more space, and I can pull this a bit up, and that is it. That's all for this chart. I'll move on to the next one. Now I am going to I'll click there to uncheck everything. Click on the canvas, click on the pie chart. Generally you use pie charts when you don't have more than 5, when you have less than 5 categorical variables. So I'll try to shape it slightly and place it here. Yeah, I think that's fine. So what do I want to do? I want to look at the total sales by region to see where we are selling the most. Remember, this is meant to be a dashboard. So I am going to take sales and put it where we have values. As I'm transporting it, do not click on the chart. Go out of that so that you do not end up having problems. I'll put it where we have values, and I will look for where we have region. Take the region and put it where we have legend, and we can see that. Now I'll go to format. I want to uncheck legend because the detail of labels, I'll click on detail of labels. I simply want the category and data value. That's what I want. I want to adjust my title. I don't want any legend. I want the title. I will not call it sum of sales. I'll call it total. Total sales by region. I'll reduce the size to 12, make it bold, give it a background color consistent with the other one, text, white, and center. Et voila. Now, the next thing I can do, if you want, you can always, so I'll just click there, and yeah, I'll leave it as it is. I will copy this. I'll just make it active, Control C, Control V to paste it. I'll put it there. I'll reduce the size, and I'll reduce the size of this other one. Now I'll come back there. I'll take that one, click on it, and now I need to change the values which are in here, because here we have total sales by region. I want to use the same graphic but not for computing the same thing. So now I'll go for profit margin by region. So I'll come here where you see, click there. If you can't have that, then you should simply come here where you have bill. If you go to where you have bill, it's going to give you what you see me using there. You can use it here. Okay, I'll cause this to drop so that I can use the bill that is here. So always use these things here. The things you can toggle here, play with it if you can't find that one. Okay, here we go. Now I want to get rid of sum of sales. I'll click X to remove it, and I'll take profit margin, just drag it and drop it where you have values, and that is it. So now we can see that we don't like there are too many decimal spaces. We want profit margin to be expressed as a percentage. So come here where you see profit margin, click on it, on profit margin, and move to the top here and click percentage sign, and make sure the default is 2, and that is it. So now you see your profit margin by region. Now let us click out of that and change this title. So I'll click on it. I'll go to format, title, and I'll change total sales. I'll just type profit margin. Click on the canvas, and that is it. So I'll copy this one. I'll click on it, Control C, Control V. I'll place it there. Okay, whatever is the case, let's see what's going on. Okay, it seems to be playing games. I'll copy this one, Control C, Control V, and see if move it there. Okay, no problem. I will compute something else here. Okay, I'll take it all over again. I'll click there, select it, Control C, click on the canvas, Control V, and then I'll move it here, and I can arrange it using a nice tool. So I'll select that, also select this diagram, go to Format, click on Align, and here I have this Align Middle. I'll click on it, and there it aligns in the middle. So that's fine. I'll do some slight adjustments. Basically, we can even reduce the size because we always want more space. So if we can always reduce the size of something, then it's always a great thing to do, so that you can fit in more on your dashboard rather than fit in less. Okay, this time I don't want to do total sales by region. I want to take a look at what happens by customer segment. So I will come here and get rid of region and look for customer segment. Customer, that's it. Drag it and drop it where you have legend, and that's it. All you need to do is to go to the title and change it total sale by. So that's exactly how you do everything. I'll do the same here. Click Control C, Control V, move it there. If it's playing games to stand, then I'll use the same technique, but that's fine. So now I want to do by product category. So all I need to do is to get rid of region and look for product category, pull it and drop it where we have legend, and go to the title and change the title from region to product category. Okay, I had a glitch on my recording. I hope I have not gone back too far. So basically we've chosen this graphic, and for the x-axis we'll put the product category. I'll put it on X, and we want contribution margin on the y-axis. There we go. Now it looks nice but too big. I want to copy the format here. Click to get that active. Go to Format Painter. Click on this axis with it to give it that shape. This is a bit too big. Go to Title. Reduce the size from 12 to 13 because I want everything on that line. And now I want to do some adjustments here. Just close that and we will look for where we have data labels. Click to turn it on, and there we go. We have our data labels. If you want, you can do some further changes, but I'll leave it at that. I'll copy it, Control C, click there, paste it, Control V. This time we want to play around. Okay, I will select this again, just select all of them because I want them to be placed in the middle. Go to Format, Align. I'll take, let's see, I'll take this one in the middle, place them in the middle, and that's it. Okay, it means this is not as big as the other ones. That's fine. I'll leave it like that. Now I'll go from contribution from a product category. I'll change this to customer segment. So I'll get rid of product category. I'll take customer segment. I'll put it there, and I want to make some adjustments here. Okay, I think there's a mistake. This should not, this is customer segment on the X. Voila. Customer segment. I think everything is fine. So now I'm going to insert two slicers. Let's come here. This is the slicer. Generally you have two of them. You have the old one and the new one. Always take the old one. So I'll click on the old one. Reduce the size. This time I want to add the different regions so that we can slice by the regions. Let's see, where do we have region? Here it is. I can just check that box and automatically we have the regions. Now I will go to Format, Slicer, Styling, click the drop down, take Tile, and here we have the different regions. Now if you click on any of them, you can see it's going to slice by the region. You can see changes happening by region. So that's what it does. I'll click to uncheck that and leave it as it was initially. I want to copy the slicer and paste. So select it, Control C, click on Open Canvas, Control V, and then move it below that. Now I want to put the different dates or the different months. So I'll come here and get rid of region and then look for where we have month, drag the month and place it there. And here we have the different months. However, you see it's arranged in alphabetical order. We want to arrange it in its natural order. So I am going to go to Table View, click on Table View and click on Transaction so that we can see a table with month. Scroll to where we have month, click on it. We will arrange it. We will sort it by month number. That is why we added this color. So we will come here, click the drop down. So we've selected that. We'll click the drop down and we want to sort it by month order, by month number. So I'll click on that and it has done it. Let's go back to the report view and we can see it's Jan, February, and so on. So if you want to see what's happening based on the different months, you can click on it at a glance. How was June? How was February? And so on. And I'll click to uncheck it. Then that's it. Now we have the last graphic we want to add. Let me see. I could add that. Yeah. We want to add a table here. And this table is going to show us we want to see the customers who order the most and how profitable were their orders. So I will click on the empty space, come here where we have the matrix. No, not the matrix, the table. Click on the table. The matrix is also cool, but we will not be using it here. So I'll take customer name. If you want to use product name, feel free, but I'll use customer name. And after customer name, I want to see the quantity of order, the quantity ordered, and I will adjust this. This is a bit too long. It's taking too much space, but maybe I don't need so much space. And now I want to see the profit of order. I'll drag and drop it there. Now I can see the profit of the order. Now, by the way, I can adjust what we see. If I come here where we have sum of quantity ordered, I can just double click on it to be able to change. If you don't want to double click, let me click out of that. If I right click, I can say rename for this visual. So if you take that, you can rename it. So I will do some slight adjustments to help us. And the other part, it's going to be total quantity ordered. And here, I'll just right click, do the same, rename this visual. So this is just going to be profit of order. Now I want to arrange this by the greatest, those who order the most. So I'll just click on that title and you can see we have the highest orders and you can see the profit of it. Now we will add one last one, which will be the profit margin of each. So I'll just click this to check that. If I check it, then and we scroll, then we can see the profit margin here. So I will rename this by PM. So I'll come where we have profit margin, right click, rename, and I'll just say PM. So that we have space. So here, for example, you can see it's arranged. You can see which customer ordered the most. Let me increase that slightly. Who ordered the most, the profit of the order, and you see the profit margin at a glance. If you want to arrange by those who order the least, just click here again. It's like a toggle key. And you see those who order the least, profit margin. If you want to go back, just click on it. Now, in terms of the highest profit of order, just click on that. It's going to order it by the highest profit. Then you can see those who are bringing the highest profit. If you click here, those bringing the highest profit margin. So just choose which one you want to arrange by, and you can go by January. Okay, highest profit of order in January or in February. You can say in February and from Central. Okay, so you can now filter as you want, and if you hold the control key, you can basically select more than one. For February, Central, and East. So that's the power of Power BI. Let me uncheck all of them and leave it like that. So that is it for the first dashboard. Now let me close this so that you have more space to see what you want. So whatever you choose, let me uncheck this again so that your graphic looks nice. when you want to submit something for your assignment, you basically, let's say you want to submit this chart, you should click here on this focus mode, and it's going to give you that. Then you can clearly see what you want. And then if you want to go back, just click the back button. So if you want to focus on this, click on that. It gives you focus. You click the back button and you are back. Same with your table. You want to focus on it. There you go. And you can always go back so that you can submit it. However, for your dashboard, you can have the whole thing. So in the next video, we will be doing the next dashboard I showed at the beginning. Have fun doing this, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate.